Hey everyone, before we dive in, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for updates and content. And don't forget to follow us on Spotify so you never miss an episode. Let's get started.
And that's where the tear gas grenades were and ferret rounds.
What are isn't that what's but yeah, they actually shoot live ferrets out of it.
No, he was just sitting there and jumped into the conversation.
Well, where do you get owner from?
He had very owner-ish
He had
vibes.
owner-ish vibes.
That wouldn't stand in court, dude.
He's like, he was the owner. It was like,
butterfly it. You know, there's an end that's open.
making it not a sandwich.
Correct.
Gotcha. You're also 40.
Yeah, but
I got it twice.
bitch.
I mean,
Are
they
you
clean it.
implying that I've been
You
there?
depicted the inside pretty good here.
I'm just,
Okay.
I
It's
saw
like, I
some,
don't know. There was
I saw
like,
some
you know, they
video.
deck them out with like green comforters, like this orange lampshade. That's really cool.
There's a lava lamp.
There's a nice recliner in there.
It's like
you know?
he even had a TV.
He?
Oh, look at that, Joey. It's bicycle whiskey. It's like a fucking bicycle shape. I don't know where it went.
Oh yeah. Look at. Oh my god, dude, they make those. I've seen. We were looking one time.
Yeah,
I think.
We've had the AK
Yeah,
tequila. I've had that one a handful of times. Always at the beach.
There's like an M16 and AK. There's all sorts. Something I want to get, but I looked it up and it was super expensive. You can actually buy like an artillery shell, and it opens and there's like glasses. It's like a whole like whiskey
yeah,
set.
I have seen that.
inside, but it's like
And it's like a spigot on the bottom.
I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was expensive.
Yeah.
You're like, no, it doesn't even work. Maybe if it did its job, you know.
All right, boys. Y'all ready?
do it.
Let's have a good time, y'all. Let's have some fun.
Don't
Talking
fucking
about-
tell me how to live my life.
Talking about some fucked up government stuff.
Let's just jump into it.
I think we do an intro, man.
Okay, then do it.
I think that just works best.
No, we just start going.
But how? How do we?
Just like right now, we've already started.
Yeah.
We could just start talking about Ruby Ridge whenever you want.
Yeah.
And this can be the start of the show.
That's what I've always kinda wanted to
Doesn't
do.
have to be all prim and proper. That's not really the right terms, but that's what came to happen.
Kind of like when it is, though. It just makes sense. But okay, if you guys want
Welcome
to just
back.
Well, you can go shut the door.
Shut the front door.
Shut the fucking door.
You don't tell me
I
what to
can't
do,
fucking
David.
interrupt you if you don't. If we're not going to start the episode, I'm just going to tell you to shut the door.
The door.
All right, let's just jump into it then.
We already have.
We've gone too far.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, tell me about Ruby Ridge.
God damn it.
Well, actually, before we jump in, there's
Sorry,
Because
wait, tell me
was
about
like
Waco.
There was a whole introduction that I was going to do
yeah.
to kind of
All right. Well, I mean,
That's
we
what I was talking about.
we can do it. Go for it, man.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna leave it exactly like this. So it's gonna be like 10 minutes in the episode,
so mad right
and
now.
then it's gonna be Chris doing an intro. But
Do the intro. Do
Yeah, let's hear it, man.
Do a breakdown.
I'm
of
excited
what
for
we're-
it.
What we're jumping into.
All right. Well, instead of doing an intro, I'll just go into this. How about that?
no, I want to hear the intro now.
God damn it.
Let's hear it, man. It's probably really good. You're really good at them.
No, because you're going to fuck me up. I already know.
No, I already told you the door's open, so you know I can't say that again.
You will.
I mean, it's possible, but you never know unless you try.
That's right.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Rise of Basic Men. My name is Chris, and as always, I'm here with David and Joey. Today, we are going to talk about some incidents in history that led oh, God damn it.
I got
Well,
you.
cool. That was a great
I
intro.
got you.
Yeah.
No.
Cool intro, guys.
Yep, I really enjoyed that, man. All right, guys.
We got two stories for you here. So one is actually going to be a more well-known story, and the one possibly not, right? But there is some similarities between these two. And Chris, what are those similarities?
So the similarities are government overstepping their bounds,
Yep.
going too far, and what these types of actions can lead to.
Yep.
Right? There are countless things that have happened in history, but these are just two incredible stories that really spawned one of the worst things that's happened in America in any time of the years, right? In any years. So let's just kind of jump into it. So we'll go into the lesser known one. Actually, before we do that,
Yeah, I was gonna say, what'd you bring us?
before we do that, we are drinking, and this is very fitting for what we're talking about here.
It's called Ammunition, straight bourbon whiskey.
Kentucky, right?
Yep, Kentucky whiskey, and
Oh, that's a
it looks
bourbon.
nice.
Did it say bourbon whiskey or just whiskey?
Bourbon whiskey,
Oh, okay.
bourbon whiskey.
I was like, I thought I saw bourbon on there.
Yeah, but David was really excited because he wanted to make all of us some old fashions, but he forgot the orange.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they're,
It
they're,
still tastes all right.
they're just
so it's
fashions.
completely ruined without that orange peel.
I was having a good day until you showed up, David.
Well, and this is kind of the
and I was having a bad day until I had a fucking whiskey in me.
this is the welcome back too, because you finished your 75 hard.
Yeah, have we not done an episode since then?
No, we haven't.
Oh shit. Yeah, guys, I finished. Woo!
Finish your 75 hard, which we will definitely get into, but very good old fashioned.
Very good.
Should have had an orange peel.
Yeah, it doesn't have a fucking orange, so.
So let's just jump into it here. I'm going to go ahead and talk to you guys about the lesser known incident. Okay. The lesser known incident is called the Ruby Ridge incident. This was a very dark chapter in American history, right? Government overreaching, mismanagement. It involved the Weaver family and the FBI. This just shows the importance of restraint, right? They just went too far. So to give you guys a little bit of background here, the Weaver family consisted of Randy Weaver. He's a former Green Beret, moved his family to a remote cabin in Ruby Ridge, Idaho in the mid 80s. The incident took place in 1992. Okay.
And by the way, he wanted to move out of the city, away from everyone else. He wanted to isolate.
He's trying to get away.
Yeah, he's trying to escape this kind of corrupt society. So that's
Exactly.
that's the mentality of Randy Weaver already.
Yeah, what he feels like has been wronged by our society. So he's just like, let me get as far away as possible.
Definitely.
Yeah. And the reason he was also getting far away is him and his wife, Vicky, were deeply religious and they had apocalyptic beliefs, right? So they wanted to be away from everybody so they can have their own kind of like, homestead.
Resources, live
their own
off the
area.
grid.
Exactly. The other thing about Randy Weaver, he was associated with the Aryan Nation.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder how deep his association went, though. Like,
I'm really curious too. Yeah.
Like, did he have a cousin, and then he knew people because of family members, or what?
Yeah, dude. So yeah, he's part of the Aryan Nation. So obviously, not a great guy, right? If you're an Aryan Nation kind of guy, you're probably not a great guy. But that doesn't excuse what happened to the Weaver family here.
Correct.
And we'll get into that. So leading up to the incident, in 1989, Weaver sold two sawed-off shotguns.
Shot off.
Shut up, shotguns.
Shot out.
Two sawed-off shotguns.
Shout out Randy Weaver.
No. But he sold these shotguns to an undercover ATF agent as part of a sting operation, right? He refused to become an informant for the Aryan Nations and was charged with illegal firearm sales. He failed to appear for court, leading to a bench warrant for his arrest. The reason he failed to appear in court was miscommunication from the court. So remember that. This is all because of a miscommunication, right? U.S. Marshals conducted months of surveillance aiming to arrest Weaver without confrontations, but tensions were really high for obvious reasons, right?
Sure.
So let's jump to the actual incident. It happened on August 21st, 92. 6 U.S. Marshals entered the Weaver property for reconnaissance. The Weaver's dog, named Stryker, barked, alerting the 14-year-old Sammy Weaver, so their son, and a family friend named Kevin Harris.
But also, too, I mean, you mentioned that these U.S. Marshals, they entered the property for a reconnaissance. These Marshals were in ghillie suits. And for anyone that doesn't know what a ghillie suit is, it's what a sniper puts on to camouflage itself into its surroundings. So it looks like bushes or strings and different colors to blend into its surroundings. And so they were literally,
Right.
secretly, stepping onto their property, probably low crawling,
Yep.
getting visual on their property
Exactly.
to survey.
They were doing reconnaissance, but they were very camouflaged up, we'll say.
Yep.
Seems a little extra for missing a court date.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's excessive, which is a theme today.
Well, they put, I think their pieces were this man has weapons. He's off the grid. He has ties to this Aryan nation, and he missed his court date.
Right. Exactly.
That's the worst, or whatever.
That's the worst part of this whole thing. He sold 2 guns, which the only reason they were illegal is because he used a saw on them to saw off the ends, and he missed a court date.
But these are U.S. Marshals stepping onto your property.
Right. Yeah. Trespassing on
On your property.
Exactly. So imagine that. Everybody put yourselves in this situation, right? The Weaver's dog starts barking.
Wait, would they be trespassing with a bench warrant?
So think of it from the people that are going out there from being alerted from the dog, right? They may not, the U.S. Marshals may not be trespassing. But
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if we're saying they're trespassing on your property, I don't think they might not have been, but still that doesn't change what happened. But.
Right. So basically what we're getting at, the Weaver's dog goes crazy and alerting Sammy Weaver, who is the son at 14 years old, and the family friend Kevin Harris. Okay. They run out there. They see guys in ghillie suits. What? Oh, did you find out what it was?
Yeah, so there was a bench warrant issued for Randy Weaver.
So
his arrest due to his failure to appear in court on firearm charges. And this warrant gave law enforcement the legal authority to arrest him.
To enter their property. Right.
Yeah.
I would assume I would assume that would give them still 6 guys in ghillie suits just spying. Like I feel like that's more of a hey, drive a patrol car to the house and knock on the door kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So this does give. So while private property rights are protected under the Constitution, law enforcement officials can enter private land under certain circumstances, particularly if they have a warrant or are in pursuit of a suspect.
Correct. So that being said,
but this is from a
this is from miscommunication. But that being said,
we just don't want to miscommunicate here.
the Weavers don't know that.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Especially a 14-year-old kid doesn't know that. So what happens is dog goes out there, dog finds these guys shoot the dog and kill the dog. Sammy, the 14-year-old boy, screams out, "You killed my dog!" And then starts shooting at these people in ghillie suits that are on his property, right? In his mind, that is his right to do it because it's private property. He doesn't know what he's doing.
But also, too, what would you do? Here, the kid carrying a gun on his own land, right? With him, his friend, dog. And all of a sudden, these guys in ghillie suits pop out, just shot your dog.
Right.
What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm carrying a gun, I'm shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing
because I feel like they're shooting at me next.
Exactly. I'm worried for my safety and the people next to me. And not only that, but I'm pissed off because you just shot my fucking
Also,
dog.
I feel like most bad guys aren't necessarily... I mean, maybe they would shoot a dog, but I feel like most bad guys would rather kill a person than a dog. I could be wrong.
What's that one dude who
everybody loves
who did
dogs?
the whole dog fighting, Michael Vick?
Yeah.
Except him.
Except for that guy. That guy definitely would have shot the dog
He
first.
would have.
So one thing while I was looking this up that I found very interesting and kind of weird is they talked about the dog getting shot. They said that the dog got shot from it said the anus, from the ass, through its ribs. So it got shot from behind. So the dog was running or looking the other way when they shot the dog.
I bet they had silencers and they're trying to shoot the dog so it didn't give away their position.
Right.
But lo and behold, the dog made noises because they didn't hit it in the head.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's just like one of those things like, oh, you shot him in the back kind of thing. That's kind of what it sounded like.
That's
right?
it does sound like that, but without. Yeah, I mean that could go either way, but yeah, that's pretty fucked.
It's pretty fucked up. So moving on in the story here. So during that retaliation, they start shooting at each other. Sammy, Kevin, and then the U.S. Marshals.
As you should.
As you should.
Yep.
Right. As in that situation, you think you should. Right. Yeah. So Kevin Harris believing he was defending the Weavers, shot and killed Marshall Deegan. So one of the marshals was killed in this incident.
From the kid?
From Kevin Harris, the friend. Kevin Harris, the friend. And actually, Sammy, the 14-year-old, in this retaliation was also killed.
So the family dog.
Yep.
And now the son.
The son was shot in the back while fleeing.
Kind of like the dog,
Whoa.
It sounds like.
Right. So Kevin Harris shot one of the marshals, killed them. So we have 3 deaths. 2 human, 1 dog. Okay. So Kevin Harris runs back to the house.
I got a quick question before we move past that. On that timeline, I'm assuming there's a timeline, and they're like, so the dog and the kid were shot in the back. Is it? It's not possible that like they were like, turn around and start running, and then just got shot. Like Kevin Harris says, the story is kind of like they started retaliating for the dog getting shot.
There was a big trial, and that was one of the biggest things was who shot who, and they're saying that Deegan did all the shooting and killing.
The guy that died.
Yeah.
It's convenient.
Exactly. So there's still kind of like, there may be some fuckery going on. That may be what happened, but there may be some fuckery going on with that too.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that does seem, it would, in my mind, at least it makes a little more sense if one dude was just like, and then shot and was just shooting, and everybody else is like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden everybody's dead, and you're just like, oh shit, this is not good.
Yep. All that happens in like probably like a 15-second period, but it feels like an hour kind of thing.
Yeah, I would imagine. I'm just trying to put myself in that kind of position. Right. Just like, how do you react? Because it's got to be, like you said, like 15 seconds max.
Exactly. So that's crazy in itself. The story just keeps going. Remember, this is a standoff story. There's a standoff. It lasts for 11 days. Okay. So, 10 days. So the deaths led to a 10-day standoff. The FBI's hostage rescue team was brought in for obvious reasons, right? They were thinking that he was holding his family hostage. They imposed controversial rules of engagement, allowing agents to shoot any armed adult male on sight. So another thing of excessive force. Okay. So on August 22nd, an FBI sniper shot Randy Weevil.
Jesus fuck. Not even close.
Randy Weevil. And then they shot Randy, and then they killed Vicky, his wife, as she held their 10-month-old daughter.
That's it. One shot?
One shot. Yeah.
So I'm sure everyone's following here, but I just like adding this stuff up because it just makes it even better once we run through this again. Mm-hmm. These group of U.S. Marshals in ghillie suits snuck up onto their property, which they already left to be secluded from society because they had trust issues with the government and the corrupt society. And because of a miscommunication of a court date, these U.S. Marshals in ghillie suits snuck up on the property, shot their dog, shot their son, and then during the standoff, they shot the wife that was holding their 10-month-old son or baby. I don't know if it was daughter or son. Daughter.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So, yeah, it's sad. It honestly is. It's incredibly sad. They continued sporadic gunfire. The Weavers were unaware Vicky had been killed, adding to their trauma and distrust, as we were talking about, right? Yep. So the 10 days go by. A civilian negotiator comes in to mediate. He was a Green Beret himself, I believe. Mm-hmm. And I think he had ties with Weaver, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So they ended up on the 31st, 1992, Weaver, Kevin Harris, and the surviving Weaver children left the cabin and were taken into custody. Okay. Weaver and Harris were charged with multiple offenses, including murder. So they were charged with murder, even though they lost
self-defense
family members from self-defense, it seems like.
Yeah, that's not them premeditating this whole thing, like inviting these U.S. Marshals to their land.
Yeah. And they just showed up in the bushes unannounced.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not really.
So here's the other part of this. So they had this big trial of this whole thing. Weaver ended up being acquitted of all the charges except for missing a court date and violating bail conditions. Harris was also acquitted entirely. Wow. So all of this, literally for missing a court date. It's insane.
That's, yeah.
I like how they kept that, though. Mm-hmm. Like, you're not being, we're not going to go with murder or anything else, but we will hold you accountable to missing.
Right. They're like, you still fucking miss that
still
court
need
date.
to show up tomorrow if you can.
We still need to show that we needed to be there.
See you 3 months from now on a Wednesday afternoon at 2:30. Courtroom C.
When's rush hour? Right. We're going to need you then.
Jesus, man. Yeah. So
he is in Idaho, in the rural part of Idaho, I guess. So I don't think it's like 4 cars instead of 1.
So I was talking to one of my employees today, and she's from Montana, and she was telling me how there are so many people like that in those areas, in those northern states, Montana, Idaho, the Dakotas. One, because there's a ton of land. They can have their own land, kind of like, they wanted away from people. And if shit goes down, it's close to Canada, and they can just run across the border. That's one.
Just run.
Yeah, they can do that. So that's one of the biggest reasons why those large, I say large states, but like those large land area states are real popular for these types of people, right? So to kind of put this all in a bow. They ended up settling for $3.1 million when they did a wrongful death lawsuit against the federal government. Okay. Doesn't change the fact that he's missing his son and his wife.
That seems a little light.
Right. And basically what this did, the long-term impact of this whole incident was, along with the next thing that we're going to talk about, it just influenced the rise of the militia movement in the U.S. I mean, it's just an example of government overreach, anti-government sentiment. It's a huge symbol for those advocating for individual rights and limits on government power.
Yeah, and besides criticism of the federal law enforcement and a Senate investigation, it actually resulted in charges to the FBI rules of engagement.
Right.
Changes to that and standoff policies too. So. Yeah. Cool. I don't even know 3.1 million. I don't think there is an amount of money that would make me feel better.
There wouldn't be. There wouldn't be.
No.
That's literally just a payoff. Oops, here's some money. Go away.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. Again, he was part of the Aryan Nation. Probably wasn't the best guy in the world, but that doesn't excuse what happened. Right?
Doesn't.
And by no means are we saying anything good about the Aryan Nation. Just want to make that clear.
Definitely not. You know, but also too, it's like you can be part of this, group, but did he actually have blood on his hands? How deep was he in?
Who knows?
I'm curious about that because it's like I feel like some people they're in scenarios that they put themselves in, but.
Maybe it was just John from down the street.
It was just John.
Yeah. It's just his neighbor John. He's like, wait, you're an Aryan? Oh, fuck, man, I didn't know.
He just shaved his head.
Hey, you're white. I'm white.
Yeah. No, but so that's crazy. So for anyone that didn't know about the Ruby Ridge incident, it's a pretty insane little story that I don't think a lot of people know much about.
Yeah.
But it does go down in history as one of those moments that the government really...
Seems like they kind of messed that one up a little bit.
They did.
It's definitely a watershed moment in that realm, for sure.
And so I guess moving on to the next story here.
Yeah. Let us know what you guys think out there. Like Joey said in the beginning, let us know in the socials. Tell us what you think about this whole thing.
Yeah.
If you know more information than us, let us know. That'd be kind of cool to know more about it. But let's move on to the next more well-known one.
The more well-known one.
Especially to us.
Yeah. And this is a fun story. I remember watching, they have a show on this that they did on, I think on Netflix or Hulu.
I don't know if I call it a fun story.
Yeah.
That's a little stretchy.
It's a little stretchy, but let's.
It's a story.
It's a unique story.
Okay.
The Waco Siege.
Yeah.
Right. So I just went to Waco recently, and this is kind of where I think where this all stemmed from too. I was like, oh, I think it'd be cool to, learn a little bit more about this and relive it. But yeah, the Waco Siege. So it's an intense, dramatic, and I'll say it's a tragic event in American history. It really is, but it is unique. It is unique. But yeah, so a little bit of background here, and whether you know the story or not. So there's the Branch Davidians. It's a religious group led by David Koresh. And his real name was actually Vernon Wayne Howell. And he moved to a compound called Mount Carmel near Waco, Texas. And Koresh preached biblical prophecy and his own revelations, convincing his followers he was the final prophet. And the community was tight-knit, of course, right? Mm-hmm. We all know about cults. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. We've heard a thing or two.
Yeah. And it was secluded and really it was just controlled by Koresh. And they were practicing polygamy and child marriages, which was alarming, outsiders.
For sure.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But in the early 1990s, the rumors of child abuse and illegal firearms at Mount Carmel reached the ATF. The good guys, right?
Right. Exactly. They sound bad.
Yeah. But they started launching an investigation to arrest Koresh and search the compound. And the ATF, they planned a surprise raid, but their operation was compromised when a local news reporter tipped off about the raid and asked directions from a mailman who was actually Koresh's brother-in-law.
Oh, wow.
So this big old plan was being set in motion, and lo and behold, it was given away.
Right.
By a news reporter.
Yeah. Yep. And so the Branch Davidians were alerted, obviously, and Koresh prepared his followers for a confrontation.
Right.
So the initial raid, it happened February 28th, 1993. So the ATF launched their raid with agents arriving in cattle trailers, losing the element of surprise.
Right.
Obviously. And a gunfight erupted. So both sides claim the others fired first. Again, we'll never know the details. Yeah. No one wants to own up to that. But 4 ATF agents and 6 Branch Davidians were killed.
Jesus.
And this spiraled into a 51-day standoff. So
10 days.
Ruby Ridge, 10 days. This was literally 5 times that. So, but the FBI took over. They started surrounding the compound with Hosh's team. And Koresh initially promised to surrender if a tape of his sermon was broadcasted, but went back after that.
Pull back.
Yep. So the FBI used negotiation and psychological tactics. And I find this, because they do this anywhere in the world.
Right.
You don't hear a lot of stuff in war times about what they do to try and mess with the minds of people. But they would blast loud music, bright lights, and just sleep deprivation, tactics. And
do we know what music it was?
I mean, it was probably She Bang, She Bang. Oh, baby.
No, it was some other song. Yeah.
Probably Van Halen.
Oh.
Jump.
Oh, shut up.
Jump.
I'd be jamming.
Yeah, not after like twice. That's it. I'd be like, I'm done.
Let's get back into it.
Just fucking walk out with my hands up like, all right.
I'm done.
You can shoot me. I don't care. Whatever. It's a great song. It's a great song.
Stop.
It's just EDM, but it's the longest EDM song. Yeah. It's just on repeat. It's like, I don't know if they're trying to use this against us. It's actually pretty cool.
Where's the Molly?
Well, back on the story here. So the negotiators secured the release of some children, but Koresh and his core group, they stayed inside.
Right.
And conditions started to deteriorate with dwindling food, water. Obviously, they had a stockpile of, survival equipment and food and water. And it was creating a tense and paranoid atmosphere. And on April 19th, 1993, so after weeks of stalemates, the FBI initiated an assault using tanks to inject tear gas, and they were trying to aim for these non-lethal end.
Right.
And in that show, I don't know if it's just called Waco.
Something like that, yeah.
Waco the Siege. I don't know. But they depict this as well too. They have these tanks that come through that just pretty much, break into the wall using its barrels, and then it starts shooting this gas
right
into the property, into the home. And fires broke out inside the compound shortly after the assault began. So the cause is debated, but some say that the Branch Davidians started them. Others argue the FBI action caused the blaze. And, flames spread quickly, and it actually killed 76 people, including David.
So one of the things that this was from the show and some other documentaries, was they put all the women and children and like non-fighters in this like kind of closeted or kind of like the
like a metal door,
like the refrigerator kind of area, to stay safe. But when these tanks busted down the walls, essentially blocked the door, and then this fire happens, and they were trapped.
They were cooked inside of this trapped area.
Oh, Jesus.
Potentially because of when they were doing this and destroying the walls of this home and inserting this tear gas, like you said, it prevented them from escaping. It blocked something. And these were women and children.
Yep.
And some men. And 76 people died because they were hearing that some things were going down. And you know what? If something with children, sure, go for it, sure. But taking certain steps,
right?
You should know, hey, tear gas, it's potentially going to catch fire. I'm sure April in Waco, Texas, isn't a wet month.
Right. Exactly. The other part about it too is the tanks. Like, why are we using tanks?
Oh, they use it all the time. Like,
yeah, but at the same point though, like, granted, it is a long standoff. I get that.
Also, too, there's not much protection between where they're at, the ATF or FBI, and the property. So to get close enough to insert this gas or something, you would need some form of protection. Yeah. So I think these tanks provided that protection. That was the idea. And I'm sure after how long, 51 days, they were getting like antsy about like, how long are we going to be here? We need to get these guys out. Like the bosses are like, what are we doing?
Were these like tank, like army tanks, or like the SWAT tank things, like the AMRAP kind of deals?
Think of it like a tank. I would say a tank. Honestly, it has an actual like
barrel,
a barrel.
Is it tracked or?
But a lot of time, what you're probably thinking of is SWAT. They might have like that plate on the end. There's different things that they can put on the end of them. But
they also drive like the wheeled ones, not tracked.
Yeah, I don't think it was an actual like war tank.
Okay,
but it's in the shape of that.
Yeah. I mean, they're similar. Yeah.
They used M1 Abrams tanks.
Oh shit! No, that's a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fucking tank.
That is a tank. They had two of those.
Jesus Christ.
Used to destroy the perimeter fences, buildings, and cars.
They're 50 ton.
And to provide thermal imaging for law enforcement.
Yeah.
And then they had CEVs, the M728 CEV and M60A1 tanks with bulldozer blades and 30-foot booms. Yeah, I know. Tough.
You had one whiskey and half a beer?
I know.
He's not a good reader.
Those were the ones that were used to punch holes in the compound.
So I stand corrected then. And let me just try and depict what I'm seeing right now on Reddit. Now, this is a pretty cool picture. I'm not going to lie. But it's sad that this is the story that it's connected to. But I'm literally seeing a tank, an Abram tank. And then there's
is it just
an American flag connected on its
to
pole,
the tank,
and in the background is the building that the family members were in on fire.
Jesus,
America.
So
America,
they had a ton.
Fuck yeah.
They had a ton of tanks actually. So they had the M1 Abrams tank, or two of those. They had these combat engineering vehicles. That's what CEV stands for. They had two of those, and those were used to bulldoze and punch holes in the compound walls. They also had Bradley armored personnel carriers.
Yeah, that's like the MRAP.
Yeah. So, and that's where the tear gas grenades were and ferret rounds. What are
isn't that what's
Yeah, they actually shoot live ferrets out of it.
Jesus Christ.
They just chew their way through you.
You should be laughing at that.
He's like, I didn't know you could do that noise.
Dear God, they got the ferret tanks. Get out of here. Save yourself.
We surrender.
Jesus.
God, were you there when we lived with that ferret for like a month?
I think so.
Yeah, Guillermo had it.
I had moved out.
Oh,
but
my
I
God.
basically lived there. I was there over there every day.
So allegedly, someone left the garage door open one day and the ferret got out.
David.
Yeah, he's winking at me. He did
I didn't know. Allegedly, that's what happened.
Guillermo, if you're listening, it was David.
It was allegedly.
You sound like the ATF in court. Like, that was not us, all right?
That was
like,
allegedly. You weren't there. I wasn't there. Nobody knows for sure what happened.
only you and the ferret's dead.
Only the ferret actually knows what happens.
You should probably
happened.
give $3 million to the ferret's family.
No.
I may have noticed that the garage door was open when I left and not shut it because I didn't actually leave it open.
Well,
I just did shut
you're
it.
a horrible person
And
for doing that.
The ferret was there when I left.
I'm coming to your house with a tank because you let a ferret out.
Yeah, the ferret was there when you left
Just bring
because
the
it
ferret
left,
tank.
it left with you.
You just hear Tank rolling up the street. And Chris like, "Here's your ferret," and just, ferret comes flying in the window.
Yeah, just throw some ferret rounds at you.
Wait, what was a ferret round? That
Yeah, do we know what a ferret round is?
Yeah, I don't know. Ferret.
Oh, I figured we just ask
rounds.
our in-house army.
Ferret rounds. Oh,
They are ferrets.
they're 40 mic. So I'll try and explain it to you guys. Do you know
40
like an
millimeters?
M16 and below the barrel has like it goes boom, and it has a little
like
grenade launcher.
Grenade launcher,
Yeah.
Apparently that is that.
That's a ferret.
Okay.
Yeah, I think ferret
I
is.
like how you describe it with a sound. You're like, you know, the one that goes thunk. It's like, oh yeah. No, I got that.
I played Call of Duty before.
Boom.
The noob tube is what
And
it
then,
is.
when it splashes, just ferrets scatter.
I like how when that term came out, it was like noob tube, and then everybody started doing it anyway.
this is
Oh,
like
yeah.
Imagine being the guy that said that first.
The guy that kept losing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, ferret 40 mic CS liquid. So like gas essentially.
Right.
Barricade penetrating projectile. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, again, this is another example of government overreach, needing accountability for the law enforcement for what they do to take care of these sieges, these standoffs. Granted, you want the standoff to end, but there are other ways, essentially, to do it without killing 76 people.
And that's what's wrong here. Like we entrust our government to do the right things, but also, you know, kind of do the stuff that no one else wants to do. There's bad people out there, and they're here to like keep things balanced and fair. And you know, people that are doing wrong things, like David Koresh, apparently with children marriages, you know, and potential abuse, and that's something you take seriously, right? Yeah. And that's horrible. So it's not going against reacting to these potential ideas or, you know, whatever they're claiming these people to be doing, but it's their reach and where they end up taking this, like Ruby Ridge, killing the dog, killing the child, killing the wife. Like, what are you trying to achieve here?
Right.
And then like this, you know, with 70 plus people, 76 people end up dying after 51 days.
Americans.
Yeah.
All Americans.
These are all Americans from their own government being gone after. So
And
Are they tax-paying citizens? They're tax-paying citizens.
well, I don't think so. They're church.
yeah, that one was a church. I'm not sure.
But have you guys ever seen the videos of they put the ladders with the Waco, the SWAT team or whoever, ATF, they'll put the ladders on the roof, they'll climb up, and you literally see they're trying to climb in through a window, and you see the bullet holes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then one guy gets hit, and he just kind of rolls off. But as people are just walking in to, like, you know, engage these people, you literally see the destruction happening.
Yeah, there's no doubt that excessive force was used on both sides, without a doubt. I guess when you look at it, there is no real answer to it, right? It was a tragic situation that happened. But also, I mean, these guys were armed to the teeth.
Well, here's the similarities between the two. Both people, they didn't go towards the government. The government came towards both of these people. And I'm assuming, most likely, I don't know with the Waco, but someone started the gunfire. Someone started the fight.
Right.
I'm gonna start the fire. Always burning. But I think there was more mistakes made on our end, but easier said than done.
Yeah, 100%. Hindsight's 20/20, right?
Yeah.
So, but the reason we're talking about this is what happens when these events happen. What happens after that? What does this embolden other people to do?
The butterfly effect.
Exactly. The domino effect, the butterfly effect. Somebody that is so anti-government, seeing these things happen, breaks. And what happens? One of the worst things that has happened in American history up until 9/11. This was one of the worst things that happened in American history up until 9/11. Joey, what was it?
The Oklahoma City bombings.
Yes.
Two years after.
On the anniversary.
Waco.
Yeah.
Yep. And, not to jump to details, but to keep you guys involved here, that killed 168 people.
Yeah.
And Timothy McVeigh.
Yeah.
Some of those were women and children too.
Yeah, he bombed a building. What was the building? It was a federal building, right?
Federal building. I was just reading about it, but I don't remember. Something starts with an A, but doesn't matter.
So it emboldened Timothy McVeigh with these anti-government sentiments, seeing these things happen. He does it on the 2-year anniversary of the Waco Siege. And again, he's from one of those he's from Montana. And he comes down to Oklahoma City. Dude, Oklahoma City still is reeling from it. Like, people don't want to talk about that event.
Well, something major like that, it scars, people. And, Timothy McVeigh was also a Gulf War veteran.
Right.
And, again, he's someone who became delusioned with the U.S. government.
Right.
Over time.
So for people that may not know or just may need a refresher, do we want to go over a little bit about the bombing? Let's go through it a little bit.
Yeah. So, and what's funny is apparently his discontent grew from Ruby Ridge in 92, but also the Waco Siege in 93. And so he viewed the Waco Siege as an attack on American freedoms with the 76 people that died
kind
there.
of the overstepping of the government
100%.
on personal freedoms.
And that just solidified his belief in the need for drastic measures.
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 That's how I say it. That's how I
Can't help it. It was like so serious too.
Yeah, we're being all serious.
It feels weird to say it accurately. Let me try it really quick.
Did you say accurately?
Measures.
Measure.
There's no A.
No.
I do the A. Measures.
It's like you have like a measures.
Measures.
I don't know.
Like you're saying the month of May,
but it's
and then yours.
Measures.
Measures.
See, that's easy.
Measures.
Like
yeah, that's right. Measures. That's how you do it. Now say accurate.
Fuck off. Fuck you.
I'm going to clip that accurate out later for myself, see if you said it right.
So just to get back to it. So the reason why we told these two stories is because this led to this. These two stories specifically led to this incident.
This is that butterfly effect that two major incidences don't just actually hurt a society, but it can actually make someone commit some horrific atrocities later on.
Absolutely.
Right. That's the dog.
Oh, Bobo has made an appearance.
Hello.
Oh, Jesus.
Hello, Bobo. All right.
He's coming in Bull in a china shop coming
Jesus
in.
Christ.
Holding David's
shoe. Got my shoe.
Okay, Bo.
In there.
Oh, and he grabbed your other shoe.
No, he just picked the same shoe back up.
Come here, go. Get out of here. Get out.
Go on, get.
Get out of here.
Put my shoe back though.
I tried to grab it.
So there's Terry McVeigh, and Timothy McVeigh. Sorry,
I was like, wait, who's Terry?
back it up, Terry. Back up, Terry.
Hope everybody had a great 4th of July.
So Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols planned an attack to retaliate against the federal government. The target, you're talking about the building, was Alfred P.
Murrah.
Federal
building, yeah.
The federal building in Oklahoma City, a symbol of federal authority. Ugh, just saying that. Yeah. But they spent months gathering materials, constructing a bomb using ammunition, nitrate, fertilizer.
The whiskey?
That's right.
Ammunition whiskey.
Nitromethane, and diesel fuel assembled in a rented Ryder truck.
So working in rental cars, can you imagine you rented that car out?
Wait. Could you imagine?
I don't know.
In the words of John Lennon.
I've thought about that, being in rental cars for so long, like how pull the ammunition away from me. But like if I've ever rented a car for somebody to go do a crime, like I've always thought about that. It'd be crazy, but that is insane.
Chris is reaching for the whiskey, and I just grabbed it
For
as
those
if though I was
just
giving it to him, but I actually pulled it away from him.
He went in to grab it, leaned in to grab it, and Joe was like, "Oh no, I'm just refreshing my glass. I'll
Sorry,
put it
Chris.
back when I'm done."
I love you.
Appreciate it. But yeah, the Ryder truck.
So, yeah, what about the Ryder truck?
Well, I was just saying, like working in rental cars, like you don't know who you're renting cars to, and like what are they doing with these cars?
Well, actually, it's not as crazy as this story, but this one guy was telling me that he kept seeing some homeless people here in Austin. Some guy with a renter truck, U-Haul, was doing something with like getting homeless people to pay him to take them places or take them places. There's something going on with like U-Haul and storage containers with homeless people.
We're going way off topic, but I do want to say something else. You know what? We'll call them streetwalkers are doing now.
What is that?
Like
Homeless people?
No, women of the night.
Oh, prostitutes.
Prostitutes.
They're just parking campers, aren't they?
Yeah, they're renting like U-Haul trucks and like Ryder trucks and they deck them out on the inside and they park them on the street. And then
What's the inside
you're
look
like? Hey,
like?
baby, and let's go to my truck.
What's the inside look like?
Oh, they put a mattress in there. I don't know. They probably just put one little mattress in there.
It's just a hooker. I mean, it's probably just a mattress.
Did it smell nice or?
I don't.
I mean,
Are
they
you
clean it.
implying that I've been
You
there?
depicted the inside pretty good here.
I'm just.
Okay.
I
It's
saw
like, I don't know. There was like, they deck them out with like green comforters, like this orange lampshade that's really cool.
There's a lava lamp.
There's a nice recliner in there.
It's like he even had a TV.
He? You dick.
I was like, I wonder if they'll catch that.
Okay. Let's get back on topic here, guys. This is a serious subject. Serious.
Yeah.
Totally cereal.
All right. Let's talk about the bombing.
Okay. Jesus.
Oh, that's really not the big intro to that we want to talk about.
Let's get into it.
No.
All right. So April 19th, 1995, McVeigh parked the Ryder truck in front of the federal building and detonated the bomb at 9:02 a.m., exactly 2 years after the Waco Siege fire.
So that's when the fire happened. It was 9:02 a.m.
9:02.
Wow. So
Sending a
very,
message.
very specific.
Yeah. It's early,
Yeah.
It's early. But the explosion was catastrophic, killing 168 people, including 19 children, injuring over 600, and causing extensive damage, obviously.
Man, I remember seeing the pictures of that because I was like 10 years old when that happened, 9 years old. Man, I still remember seeing the pictures of that, like whole half of the building being gone.
Yeah, destroyed.
It's like, fuck, man.
It's crazy how something like that can just destroy half a building, but fires from 9/11, from the World Trade Centers going into Building 7 can just literally collapsed the entire building.
Yeah, science.
No.
Sorry, aliens.
That's for a different episode.
It is. I had to go that route. I had to.
Was it the terrorist?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Well, we're talking about a domestic terrorist here.
Yeah.
Let's stay.
Let's do it. So within 90 minutes, McVeigh was arrested for a traffic violation and illegal weapons possession.
What was he doing?
Driving. He was violating.
You just bombed a building and you're going fucking 90 to 30? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He just didn't try to hide?
I mean, I'm guessing not.
Blend in, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like, you could have just done it and just like hung out somewhere. I don't know.
You could.
If you don't get caught on camera, I guess.
You could have. I think a lot of people that, let's say they do a bank robbery, they want to like escape right away.
Yeah.
But what you could do is stay close and maybe make a van into something to help you out. Maybe there's an area where you can lay down underneath the floor that you turn into a little safe area for you.
Right.
You know, but obviously he doesn't care about his own life. Obviously. What the fuck happened?
I'm just laughing. David is
fucking farted and it is atrocious.
Jesus.
I was looking at Chris this whole time. I was like,
I didn't know he could smell it, but man.
Sorry, my dog. Well, evidence quickly linked McVeigh and Nichols to the bombing. Now, with the trials, McVeigh was found guilty and sentenced to death. Nichols was sentenced to life in prison. And who is this? Michael Fortier?
I don't know.
Received a lighter sentence for cooperating. How did he cooperate?
He testified against him. Yeah, they didn't tell us what he did or what his participation was. Maybe he was one of the suppliers.
I bet he worked.
And I feel like, wasn't it McVeigh, like, at his execution was just, they're like, do you feel bad for what you've done? And was like, nope, I just kind of did what I had to do.
That's the whole thing. He did what he had to do in his mind, right?
Yeah,
and
he's like,
he was young, too. I think he was only,
27?
26, 27?
I think he was 27, but
I mean,
it's like the same age, so.
Oh, man, I'm looking it up right now. Look,
yeah,
the building right there. It's, man, that's so sad. Joey, you see this? Oh, damn it. Never mind.
Your computer's not foldable.
It is foldable, but it's also touch.
He just folds it over the screen. Just
oh, the battery died.
It's foldable, but
it's like, I'll charge you when I get home. David's using my charger.
There you go.
Oh, wow. So Chris is showing me an actual picture of the building, and yeah, a third of the building
Just gone.
from top to bottom is just gone.
It's crazy.
That is nuts.
Yeah, I kind of remember it as a kid, but not really.
It was on the news, and my parents were like super, into watching the news and things like that. So I just remember seeing it all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so McVeigh was sentenced to death, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, do you guys want to know what his last meal was?
I already know.
Yeah, I heard it on a podcast.
Wait, let me guess.
So Timothy McVeigh, 27 years old.
Well, don't give me any.
Let me guess.
I know. I was saying. Just
I thought you were going to be
painting
like
the picture.
He's from Kentucky, and he looked like a.
He's from Kentucky. His favorite food is hot sandwiches. Now, what do you think you got?
Ice cream.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. How'd you? You did not just pull that out your ass.
Yeah, I don't have anything in front of me.
2 pints of mint chocolate chip ice cream.
I think subconsciously I've seen that before. Maybe I just pulled it out.
Maybe
He's
you're
like-
just craving ice cream.
He's like, also, I listened to 2 Bears, 1 Cave, and I heard that yesterday.
And then his final written statement was Invictus, a poem from William Ernest Henley's 1875 poem. So I don't know what that poem is, but it's just what I looked at.
Must
here.
be
I was like waiting for you to go into it.
I mean, I could.
Well,
Are you doing that right now, Joey?
No, not at all. Not at all. But this is pretty crazy, though. And I think this is one of those things. What interested? I can't even say that right now. Jesus Christ!
What got you interested?
What got me interested into this story was, these bad things happen. And bad things happen on either side, whether you're thinking government, agencies, or civilians. I would assume, I won't even go down that path. I was going to say maybe one more than the other, but either way, we all make bad choices. Mm-hmm. But this is a good example of, like you mentioned, that domino effect. Something happens, miscommunication, right?
Right.
Yeah, the guy's probably not a great person with the Aryan connection. But did it call for his wife, son, and dog to be murdered? No.
Right. Also, the crazy thing about that was the wife was holding a 10-month-old child.
Holding a 10-month-old child.
Like as the sniper doing that shot, that's the shot you're taking, somebody holding a child?
Yeah.
Like,
I wonder if he could see him.
I mean,
yeah, maybe
the kill order was for
if he got
male, any armed male.
Yeah, I know, but it was one shot. He got hit and she died.
No, it wasn't one shot. No, they just.
Oh, I asked that. You said it was one shot. I thought it was one shot.
No,
I thought it was they shot him and it like went through and killed her.
Mm-mm. Well, it's possible because we're all thinking like sniper. You have this like visual, and you would think that you can identify who that is before you take a shot. But I would like to assume, based on this scenario, that maybe this sniper had visibility into this top of a head moving back and forth, and they go, "That's somebody."
Yeah,
I'm going to take this.
Okay,
and
or just a torso, or like just this much.
Yeah, and maybe they're like, "Hey, I have this," and they're like, "Take the shot," and this person, did their thing and messed up royally.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the case.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, we don't know, but we like to assume based on what we think that would be the proper way, but they obviously didn't do anything.
But yeah, so like we were saying, it's the domino.
Dude, we cannot
effect.
talk tonight.
Yeah. We didn't even drink before. We're only like one whiskey glass in.
I know.
But no, it's the government overreach. It's the domino effect that happens. And, you look at these situations individually, right? And you're just like, okay, yeah, we fucked up. Let's learn from it. And it sounds like each one of those cases, they learned from it, right? Some new laws came in for what was it? The
rules of engagement.
Yeah, rules of engagement. And then for the Waco Siege, same thing. Royally fucked up, but more rules and things came through. And even on Ruby Ridge, there was a lawsuit afterwards and they dropped charges and all this kind of stuff. Doesn't change the fact that the incident happened, emboldened somebody that was already radical, already thinking these things, to do something terrible.
And it happens too. Like, I think after a 20-year war, quote unquote, what I mean? Like, it's not what you think. It's just we're in someone else's backyard. Like, what does that do?
Right.
Oh, it creates Al-Qaeda and more freedom fighters over there. Right. And
we killed their brother, and then they radicalizes 20 other people because they knew that person.
Yeah, some dad gets killed accidentally or purposely, and his children are now on a different war path.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what's happening in the Middle East right now with all the stuff that's going on there, which we're not going to get into. It's too much craziness, but that's exactly what's happening, right? People are getting radicalized by these violent acts, these violent things that are happening, these violent mistakes by some people's eyes.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Now, let us know what you guys think about all this. This was a very serious episode, but David was talking about something before we were recording. What was Killdozer, David? Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Oh, I wasn't going to bring that up this episode, but Killdozer, it's like...
It's kind of similar, right?
Yeah, concrete plant, bought off and cut off access to this guy's muffler shop. Wrote city petitions to the city to get it. And it was like this whole back and forth fighting with them, trying to get an easement and basically just put him out of business. And so he built a fucking armor plated, I think it's like a 1/4-inch steel inside and out with concrete in between, on top of a big cat bulldozer, and just went and rampaged around town, destroyed ran into City Hall, ran into the building next door, ran into the mayor's house, just fucked up a bunch of shit before it got stuck, overheated, and oh no, they shot the radiator. It overheated, and then he eventually killed himself.
He unalived himself.
Yes.
So I'm looking at pictures of this killdozer thing, and if you're out there listening,
it's
kind of look it up.
Insane.
That's
and
insane.
I think it's just you can just push people to a point, and there's a tipping point, and sometimes you push the wrong person.
Yeah.
And they build an armor-plated bulldozer.
This happened 24 or 20 years ago.
Yeah, and he had a gun, so he could shoot out too. I don't think he killed anybody, but he may have injured somebody.
I think, if I remember correctly, it was just himself.
Yeah, I think he was the only death.
Injured,
I think he injured a couple people. Like a cop or something got like hit in the leg, or was like standing next to a car that got hit by the bulldozer. Something stupid like that.
Right.
But yeah, that I stand behind the bulldozer guy on that one for sure.
That was pretty crazy though. Like, didn't he get stuck?
Yeah, he got stuck. There's a basement. There's a basement in one of the buildings that he didn't realize there was a basement, or he didn't realize the weight of the bulldozer was going to crush it down into the basement. But I believe he eventually gets out of that, and then I think they shoot the radiator or something that stops it.
Tell you what, I'm going to look it up real quick just to get some good information on it. But
well,
it's pretty crazy.
I mean, we could always go into that another time.
Yeah, we definitely could. Yeah, I mean, I think we had a great episode today, guys, and we really got into some real stuff. We didn't really get into like our normal UFOs and shit like that. This is some real stuff, and real things happen. And again, we do this podcast to talk about incredible stories, right? Most of the time triumphant, but sometimes these stories are more impactful than triumphant.
I think what you should be asking yourself is, can the government do this? Because I think a lot of people, whenever you talk some of these topics, you might seem a little overbearing,
right.
Just too much. And they'll be like, oh, no, the government would never do that. Well, they have done.
Yeah, there's things that have happened. The proof is out there.
And this is not even this is just the tip, not even the tip of the iceberg. Like, there's so many stories out there, and some that we don't even know about. But there's a lot of stories out there where the government overreaches and hurts more people that need to be hurt, and they're capable of doing these things, unfortunately.
And these are just examples of our own on American soil. Can't even talk about the stuff that happens in other countries in the U.S. name.
Yeah.
So, it's man, I don't want to end on a downer, man. Let's talk about something fun.
Killdozer.
Killdozer wasn't one. Yeah, Killdozer. They made a movie about that too.
They did. I don't know if this is it. I think it's called Tread. Maybe.
Well, you could have left it at Killdozer, but you brought it down right after.
I didn't bring it down.
Down,
Break it
down,
down.
down, down. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Let's cut this part out
for some support.
Let's cut this part out. What are we actually at? Are we at 138?
Like an hour 10.
Okay. Do we want to go a little bit further?
Did you already hit it?
No, I didn't mark
Hit
it.
it. Hit it.
Yeah, hit the button. Mark
What
it.
button?
Mark it. Oh,
That one.
What button? This one?
the flag.
Okay. Yeah, I just because we're at the end of the story. Do we want to continue on to some more stuff, or are we going to end it at an hour 10?
No, we can end it wherever.
Yeah, I think this is good. Okay. Yeah, let's just, if you want to hit it home, or I can, whatever, but be like, however you want to be like, so this is, not even do that. We've already done that. Been like, hey, this is what it is. This is why we talked about it. To be like, hey guys, thank you so much. And
Yeah,
Send
do
it
the
off.
keep rising. Yeah, okay, cool. All right.
You want? Never mind.
Even in the middle of a show, he fucking does it.
is that Bo?
I was gonna say I would do it, but I'll let you do
go
it.
ahead. No, go ahead, do it, man.
Well, no, you killed the moment.
I'm waiting for David to do it.
Is that Bo again? Am I
Dude,
smelling that?
yeah, he's
He's
ripping,
firing up a
dude.
fucking storm
He is
over here.
ripping right now.
My God.
God, I wish I remember exactly how you kind of ended that fucking downer moment.
So no, I said, man, I really wish we would end on a good moment. Like it was. No, you killed it with the dozer. You killed it after Dozer.
Yeah, but I was gonna probably cut that part. I was gonna cut right where you probably right before where you said, "I don't want to end it on a downer."
No, it's kind of off topic.
Hot dog sandwich.
Oh yeah, can we talk about you guys going to Seattle with the sandwich, hot dogs?
Yeah, well, we can. Yeah, end on a lighthearted. Yeah, let's. You know what? Let's end on a lighthearted thing right now. I don't want to end on a downer. Like, we talked about some serious stuff here.
Wait, when's this episode coming out?
Next week, Tuesday.
And then Jeremy would be right after that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll talk about. I was gonna say I want to bring up Danielle's episode before the race.
Okay.
So if our listener wants to follow along,
I mean, we could still do it now. But yeah, anyways, like I said, let's not end on a downer. Let's just jump into something fun for a quick little bit. Let's end on a happy note, guys. Kind of happy note, I guess. But me and David took a quick trip out to Seattle to visit a buddy of ours. And he's a big fan of the show. He listens to the show. Our buddy Eddie, shout out. And while we were out there, we stayed right next to the football stadium. And they were having a soccer match there. With their professional MLS team, the soccer league. And we got into this argument. And people, I'm telling you, when we talk about hot dog as a sandwich and you think it's a joke, this is literally every single day we talk about this. It's to a point where it's ridiculous. And next show, we're going to have somebody, we might just end this whole thing altogether. And we'll get into that in a little bit.
No, we won't. We'll get it to next week.
That's what I'm saying. In a little bit. Next show.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways. It's not a little bit. That's a week.
So we're walking around Seattle. It was a great day, beautiful weather, walking around all Seattle. And we come by the stadium, and they said there's all these Seattle hot dog places set up. And this day, we had sent something earlier in the day about the hot dogs. Do you guys remember what that was?
Oh, no.
What did we send something, or were you guys talking about what?
Somehow it sparked. During the day, it had sparked the
what I
remember.
Sandwich. What I remember is that you guys were like, hey, taking pictures of a sign and something about hot dogs and sandwiches.
Oh, that's right. There was a street sign saying hot dogs and then sandwiches, like they were separate.
Yep.
And so we sent that to you, and then it started this whole conversation. And I tell David, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go inside and talk to the merchant and ask them what they think. And David's like, ugh.
Son of a bitch.
Like, I don't want to do this. I'm like, fuck it. I'm drunk enough. Let's go. So
I was not drunk enough.
Yeah, he wasn't drunk. But I walk inside, talk to the guy, and this guy could not be less interested in this question at all.
Did he punch you?
No,
No.
I was like, hey man, I just got a quick question for you, man.
I
He's
remember
like,
that guy. He was
yeah,
such a lame answer.
Yeah, and he was like, so I asked him, so is a hot dog a sandwich? You have them separated out there, but is a hot dog a sandwich? And what was his answer?
He just like, well, I mean, technically, if you look up a sandwich, a hot dog is a sandwich, and
so basically, we were right.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
But
David,
that guy sucked.
Yeah, David wasn't convinced. David wasn't convinced.
I needed somebody to be enthusiastic a little bit.
We continue our walk, and we get to the stadium, and they have all these hot dog vendors all set up down the way. And me and David were sitting there arguing about this. Guys, we literally argue about this. This is so ridiculous. But we walk up to one of these. I told David, I'm just going to go walk up to this guy boiling these fucking hot dogs.
So another guy.
A different guy.
This is a hot dog stand.
Okay.
Not a sandwich stand.
Yeah,
Didn't say sandwich.
An actual hot dog stand. And I walk up to this guy, and I tell David, I'm like, I'm going to go ask him. David's like, oh, I don't want you. He just did not want me to go talk to these people.
Yeah.
So
I didn't want to get involved in the fucking conversation. I don't mind arguing with you. I don't need to argue with fucking John from Seattle.
He doesn't want strangers to judge him.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want strangers to tell
he's
you
okay
you're
for
wrong.
our friends, for his friends to judge
Fucking
him.
homeboy agreed with me. He said it's a different thing.
So we were talking to homeboy,
The guy
and he's
making
like, no.
the hot dogs.
He's like, nah, hot dogs, its own thing, da da da. But the owner,
No, a guy sitting at a bench next to us.
who was the owner of
Never asked him if he's the owner. He had no shirt on representing that business.
Did he tell you
it was
he
just
was the owner?
No, he was just sitting there and jumped into the conversation.
Where do you get owner from?
he had very owner-ish
He had
vibes.
owner-ish vibes.
That wouldn't stand in court, dude.
He's like, he was the owner. It was like, we didn't ask him if he was the owner, if he was associated with the hot dog stand. It was just a guy giving his fucking opinion, not making hot dogs. And the guy making hot dogs said no.
Yeah, but the other guy's opinion was correct. And
No.
also,
What'd he say?
he said that a hot dog
He
is
said
a
it was a
sandwich.
sandwich.
Yeah.
That's why he's sticking with the owner.
Yeah. I think.
The funny.
Oh,
but
no,
the
you
funny-
think he was the owner too, don't you?
No. Nothing that he says is like the owner.
But before you go, the funniest part about this is we're having this conversation with these two guys, and this really good-looking girl starts walking behind them, looks at us, laughs at us, and then keeps walking.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I specifically remember. I was like, "Oh, hey, she's cute." She laughs. I was like, "Oh."
And you're confused if it was about the hot dog or just you.
It was
Just
probably
like,
me.
look at these fucking idiots arguing about hot dogs and
'cause
sandwiches.
we were not quiet. We were definitely like yelling.
But you know what? She probably
Between
went
each other.
home and started asking that same question.
We got to spread the word.
We do. We do.
We do enough on this.
yeah,
podcast.
that they're separate things.
Here's my stance on this. This is what it is. I call hot dogs hot dogs. I do not say, hey, I want this sandwich. But by definition, it is a sandwich. But culturally, it's its own thing.
No.
But by definition, it is a hot dog.
Only if you break the bun in
Or it
half,
is a
like
sandwich, damn
Maria
it.
fucking
Damn it.
did on 4th of July.
What?
The crazy Maria just ripping the buns apart.
Oh, yeah, she did.
She fucking split. I was like, what are you doing?
I will say, I said I was bringing sandwich things to the 4th of July party, and nobody questioned it when I showed up with hot dogs. I'm just saying.
Oh, I got there first, and I was like, Chris is bringing hot dog. Well, no. Yeah, we all knew you were bringing hot dogs.
Yeah.
I think you said you were bringing hot dogs.
No, I said sandwich stuff.
I think you said hot dog sandwiches.
No.
I'm pretty sure you said hot dog sandwiches. Because like when you showed up with hot dogs, everybody was like, yeah, hot dogs.
Well, back to what you said, Maria. So David's grilling at this 4th of July celebration at our friend's place, and
Sandwiches.
sandwiches. And his wife comes out, and you know how buns, like hot dog buns, they come attached to each other, and it'll be like rows of 4, and then they'll stack up on each other. And
You gotta, you gotta
separate
them.
You got to separate each one, and then you split that one,
But not apart,
You
but, like, open it up.
Yeah, you butterfly it. You know, there's an end that's open,
Making it not a sandwich.
correct.
Gotcha. You're also 40.
Yeah, but yeah,
I got it twice.
bitch. Go fuck yourself. Okay, back to your wife, okay? But instead of separating them one by one, she actually somehow separated the top and bottom pieces.
But then she split the two top pieces.
And then she split the two top pieces and then split the two bottom pieces.
No, I stopped her before she split the bottoms because I was like, I can at least use those as a hot dog bun.
And then she got frustrated, but David was like, hey, get Chris. And so I go, okay. And I go, Chris. And he finally got, I got his attention. He came outside. And once Chris walked outside, and this was like almost 2 minutes of a process of getting Chris and him coming outside. And once he comes out, he goes, look what Maria did.
Maria just goes, oh, fuck you. Walks off.
Then I grabbed those buns and made a sandwich.
You did. But not you grabbed the butterflied one, not the fucking split like a crazy person one.
Well, that was fun.
That was a
glad
high
we
note.
ended on a high note.
That was a high note.
And we appreciate everybody listening, sticking with us through this whole story. And you know what? Until next time, keep rising.
Keep inspiring.
And remember, your story matters.
Let's go.
Oh, cheers. Plans don't have a bike. They have a horse.
What's the difference, dude?
Well, one's a sandwich.
Wake up. Wake up.
Wake me up.
Wake me up inside. Frankie.
Yay.